battlers, and today we're going to be taking a look at JENGINEER6's 4-0 Nightfall Cup sweep using a triple grass team. So that's got Venusaur, Abomasnow and Gallade. I consider Gallade to be like a grass type in this cup because it does have that leaf blade, which is like what it's super spamming. But JENGINEER had a really good lead there with Abomasnow up against Noctowl, and Isotropic swapped out into Gallade, and so JENGINEER countered that by swapping into Gallade himself. Can kind of go a number of ways depending on like whether stuff sneaks in, and an Isotropic just snuck a confusion in, so that could definitely turn the tide of this mirror match. Shield up the leaf blade, and then a Isotropic Gallade is able to take out JENGINEERs. So JENGINEERs just lost switch advantage, and looks like he might be losing shield advantage here as well. Yeah, really has to burn that shield because the close combat would have absolutely wrecked the Abomasnow. So now down a shield and Galarian Stunfisk in the back. This is looking really bad for JENGINEER here. Basically, he really wants to have that Abomasnow up against the Noctowl that was in the lead that's hanging out in the back now, and Venusaur isn't really going to do very well up against Noctowl at all. So kind of needs to like try and tank a charge move on that Venusaur, but unfortunately, and Isotropic did not throw a charge move. Venusaur did not tank anything, so now it is just plain Venusaur versus Noctowl, and this is definitely looking rough for JENGINEER. Goes for the Sludge Bomb, which does do like a bit of damage, but it's not doing heaps. Noctowl is below the 50% mark now, so getting another Sludge Bomb off, Noctowl is farming up heaps of energy. This will really bring the Noctowl pretty low, actually. Okay. So, unfortunately, it was just a little bit late on the Sky Attack. If he threw it like one quick move earlier, that Noctowl would have a lot more health. Not that, maybe having low health is probably preferred, because then Abomasnow doesn't have as much health to farm. But now it is going to be that Abomasnow up against the Galarian Stunfisk. Abomasnow is really not going to be able to do much here, or didn't quite get to that, and it looks like JENGINEER cut that battle off early. So going into battle 2 now, down 1 battle, Gallade up against Frostlass. This is a pretty decent matchup, because both the confusions and all of the charge moves are doing a lot of damage to the Frostlass. So shielding up this first Avalanche, because that would absolutely Shrek just because of how squishy Gallade is. So farming up as much energy as possible and throwing this Leaf Blade before another Avalanche has a chance to get through. And we do see the Frostlass go down there. So an Isotropic fighting for that shield advantage again, but JENGINEER trying to kind of even that playing field by going for this close combat. If it does go through, it will do a lot of damage and does get the shield. So bring the defense down and swapping into Galarian Stunfisk. I feel like that was the wrong move there because Gallade was so close to going down anyway, and now that let the opponent swap into their Gallade. But they're going for the Earthquake straight away, and does get the shield, but I guess this actually isn't that bad, because JENGINEER is going to be able to burn the shield for the close combat and then get to another Earthquake to take out Gallade, and then we'll still be up against the Noctowl. But I feel like it would have been much better to just let Gallade go down, bring in Stunfisk to the Noctowl, and then maybe force an Isotropic to switch out to Gallade. Because yeah, it's not like Noctowl would be able to do much with its charge moves anyway, but yeah, taking out the Gallade there, in comes the Noctowl. This isn't going to do heaps of damage because that's still ground typing, and then Stunfisk is just going to have to get to 2 Rock Slides to take out the Noctowl, and even if it isn't able to, even if Noctowl is able to take it out, Medicham is at full health in the back, and Medicham is absolutely going to be able to take out this Noctowl, even though it's, you know, a flying type versus a fighting type. Counter just does enough damage, and Medicham is bulky enough that it's going to be able to hang out. Are we going to get to the Rock Slide? Yeah, going to get to the Rock Slide, and this will take out Noctowl, and that is going to bring us to 1-1 in round 1 of the tournament. And we're actually now going to have to switch to a different player. Because yeah, basically I put these battles together separately, and this is the only battle in the video that I forgot to speed up, so hopping into a different player just so we can kind of speed it up on the fly there. But a really bad lead with Abomasnow versus Medicham there, so swapping into Gallade, and in comes that Noctowl. Again, just going to try and get that close combat off. Charge move coming through, and does have to shield it just because Gallade kind of overfarmed there, didn't really have like, you know, just to not waste his energy, I suppose. Going for the double close combat now. So if this first one lands, it'll be huge. And then, you know, even if a shield comes up, going to be able to get to the next one. But does land it and takes out the Noctowl. And Isotropic now has that shield advantage again. Going for the Leaf Blade on Gallade now. And because Gallade is so squishy, yeah, and Isotropic is burning that shield there. Going to be taken down by that extra confusion after being close combat debuffed. And now bring in the Abomasnow, because really just doesn't want to have that Abomasnow up against Medicham. So you can kind of waste the Abomasnow here. Deciding to burn the shield on the Leaf Blade, figuring that Abomasnow has a pretty decent chance on taking on the Gallade here. Even Medicham that JENGINEER has in the back here is definitely going to struggle a little bit. So if you can try and take out... Oh! Simultaneous swap out. I was not... Okay, simultaneous swap out into Medichams. So Medicham v Medicham, and Isotropic going for the Ice Punch, which is definitely like not the best move. JENGINEER going for the Psychic here. I'm wondering if maybe an Isotropic doesn't actually have the Psychic. Maybe it's like an Ice Punch Power Punch or Ice Punch Dynamic Punch. Lands the Psychic, which does huge damage, and now a charge move coming through from an Isotropic. and it is an Ice Punch, so I guess that they don't have Psychic, which definitely hurts an Isotropic here in the Medicham mirror match. That Gallade is going to come back in now, has a little bit of energy ready to go. Isn't going to get, oh, no, isn't going to get to the Psychic, wow, and this is definitely going to take out the Gallade, and that's going to be GG's and taking out round 1. Going into round 2 here up against Agent Magikarp, who has that 1500 Medicham. So if you haven't seen my video on whether Medicham is OP in the Nightfall Cup, you can click up there to watch that, or it'll be linked at the end of the video. But definitely interesting to see if that does come out. Now, Abomasnow vs Wigglytuff is kind of a iffy matchup and can kind of go both ways. Wigglytuff is definitely going to be taking a lot of damage from the really spammy Weather Balls and might be forced to shield. So Agent Magikarp decides to swap out into that Galarian Stunfisk. The Abomasnow here hanging out, eats that Rock Slide. Man, that is definitely rough, but definitely interesting staying in here with the Abomasnow just because it is a pretty rough matchup for Abomasnow. Going for those Weather Balls though, maybe trying to get the shield, and does get the shield off Agent Magikarp and able to get the Energy Ball off, like one mud shot before going down. Definitely putting a lot of pressure onto that Stunfisk. He's going to survive, but hey, that Stunfisk is super low now, and Agent Magikarp does have the shield disadvantage. Brings in Stunfisk of his own, you know, could burn the shield here, and does, and it is the Earthquake, so correct shield, and then it's definitely going to be able to mud shot down before another Earthquake could come through. And then we'll see what is kind of hanging out in the back, whether we see that, well, we're not to see Wigglytuff come back out, because Wigglytuff is going to have a rough time. So here is the Medicham. So definitely iffy. Swapping into the Gallade though. So Gallade is going to have a pretty decent time up against Medicham and Wigglytuff. It's definitely going to be taking a fair bit of damage from the Charms. Oh, eats the Psychic though. Gets the Leaf Blade off before being charmed down. This is definitely going to do a little bit of a chunk to that Wigglytuff. Does go through, does do a nice bit of damage, and then Stunfisk going to come in here. Not too worried about Wigglytuff, but then has to deal with a Medicham in the back, so goes for the Rock Slide. I'm not sure if it's like the best idea to hit all the bubbles, just because this Medicham is going to come in full force now, but because yeah, we've seen in previous videos that Medicham is going to be able to tank both an Earthquake and a Rock Slide from a Stunfisk, so definitely pretty rough, and shielding up that first Earthquake, so I don't think there's any way that Stunfisk can get to an Earthquake plus a Rock Slide before Medicham can counter it down. So I think it's going to be another GG situation, and JENGINEER is going to lose another first battle of the round, but hey, we saw him come back from that in the first round, so let's go into round 2, see what we've got. So Venusaur up against Wigglytuff. This is definitely a really good lead matchup for JENGINEER here, so we'll see what kind of decisions get made. Looks like Agent Magikarp staying in there, maybe trying to catch the Sludge Bomb onto the Galarian Stunfisk. Unfortunately, JENGINEER is not playing ball, does not want to get baited, and so leaves all the energy on that Venusaur, swapping out into Medicham to hard counter that Stunfisk. Again, Medicham is going to be able to tank an Earthquake and a Rock Slide from the Stunfisk, so farming up a lot of energy and throwing this Ice Punch like just before a charge move comes through from that Stunfisk. That isn't going to take it out by any means, but yet, you know, did sneak in first, so probably going to shield up here and then counter down. Oh no, letting it go, and it was the Rock Slide bait. So again, Medicham can tank that Earthquake and Rock Slide, and JENGINEER, huge gusto, able to call that bait. Man, I would be sweating way too much to not shield there, but goes for the Psychic now up against the Wigglytuff, which is definitely going to do a big chunk. Boom, yeah. It takes it out. Can really bring in either pick here. Both Venusaur and Stunfisk are going to be good there. And they bring in the Medicham. So JENGINEER is really comfortable leaving in the Medicham here. The Venusaur here, sorry. Just because Stunfisk that they've got in the back is going to have a rough time up against the Medicham, but still a really good time up against the Wigglytuff that Agent Magikarp has in the back. So leaving Venusaur here up against the Medicham is really the best place for it to be. Shielding with the charge move though, because really does want to try and take out as much of this Medicham as possible before Venusaur goes down, and then could kind of leave himself with no shields going into the G-Fisk versus Wigglytuff matchup, because it's not like Wigglytuff can take out Stunfisk with a single charge move, and it's not going to be able to get to 2 either, so I mean, could shield, could not shield, it can really go either way. Decides to let Venusaur go down, bring in Stunfisk to farm up energy on the Medicham, which is definitely a bit of a risky play just because it is going to take a lot of damage. And, you know, maybe that Medicham's hiding like a third charge move dynamic punch in the back, but was an Ice Punch, doesn't shield it, and then going to be able to get this Earthquake off and take out that pretty weak Wigglytuff, and that's going to be GG's. And again, we're in this 1-1 situation in round 2, going into battle numero 3 in round 2 up against Agent Magikarp. The Abomasnow versus that 1500 Medicham. Really bad lead for JENGINEER here, so we'll see how they do decide to play it out. Looks like he's farming up a lot of energy on this Abomasnow and goes for the Weather Ball, trying to go for the Energy Ball bait. So can he get a shield from Agent Magikarp? And he can get the shield. He's going to be able to get to an Energy Ball if Agent Magikarp didn't throw, so decides to burn the charge moves. And JENGINEER using a shield to protect from the Ice Punch. So really wanted to get to this Energy Ball to weaken down the Medicham as much as possible. and does burn both shields off of Medicham. So Gengineer going to go down here, going to lose switch advantage, but will have that one shield advantage that could definitely come in handy. Oh, it was a CMP tie from Agent Magikarp. Didn't mean to click on the charge move, and so undercharged it, got 2 counters through, and yeah, that definitely puts Agent Magikarp in a bit of a rougher spot. Venusaur getting to this Frenzy Plant before Medicham gets a charge move off, and Bow takes him out. So we'll see what does come back in here. In comes the Venusaur Mirror. I'm not sure if Gengineer really had any energies. Like, I don't know if this Sludge Bomb from Agent Magikarp is going to come through on the same turn or not, or if he's like one turn behind, but we'll see. Sludge Bomb goes through, and Agent Magikarp looks like he's over farming, so yeah, I'm not going to get the answer. You can, like, you know, watch the video properly and see the turns, see the counts. But Venusaur is going to be able to get to another Sludge Bomb, and Agent Magikarp, brilliant swap there, catching this Sludge Bomb on the Galarian Stunfisk. That does absolutely nothing, wastes all of that energy from the Venusaur. Super well played there, and then does have the shield advantage. So that's basically going to flip this matchup to being in Gengineer's favor. Even though Agent Magikarp has the energy advantage, did go for the Earthquake that was shielded up. Gengineer just has that, like, had the shield, and now is able to go for this Earthquake unshielded, going to do that much damage to the Stunfisk, and then in comes the Venusaur, going to get this Rock Slide off, and this will take out the Venusaur, and that is going to be GG's on round 2, going 2-1. Going into round 3 now, up against Fish and a Heater, fellow Aussie content creator, so go check out his Twitch channel if you have not already. Now, Medicham vs Venusaur is a bit of an interesting matchup. Generally, it's going to go in Medicham's favour, but Venusaur does have the opportunity to kind of flip things around depending on charge moves. Fish and a Heater trying to catch the Ice Punch onto a Frostlass, but unfortunately, Gengineer was ready to not pull the trigger straight away, catch that energy, and it paid off. So able to get this Psychic off onto the Frostlass, and then charging up some energy even more. Going to burn the shield here in case it is a Shadow Ball from that Frostlass, which would KO. Is just the Avalanche, but it doesn't matter too much because Avalanche is, like, you know, almost just as much energy as the Shadow Ball. Going for the Ice Punch now, which I think would take out the Frostlass at this point. I think he had low, yeah, that's definitely low enough health for an Ice Punch to take him out. And then almost able to counter down. Another charge move coming through. If Gengineer shields, he's going to be able to counter down. Does let the Avalanche come through, so that's going to be 9-9 for Medicham. But brings in the Venusaur, able to get some energy stored up. And then in comes something. It's a Venusaur mirror match. So Fish and a Heater did have some energy ready to go on that Venusaur, swapped out trying to catch that charge move before, lands the Sludge Bomb, and then farming up to another Sludge Bomb. Ooh, swapping out into Gallade. These confusions definitely doing a lot of damage, but Fish has the Alolan Ninetales in the back. If this close combat goes through though, like, it's going to do a ton of damage. Like, it's almost going to take it out. Does land. Oh man, this Venusaur only has to get one Vine Whip, and that Ninetales is Gonski, and then it's back into the Venusaur mirror match. I'm not sure where the energy is lying. I think Gengineer has a little bit more energy sitting on his side of the fence, so shields up the Frenzy Plant, which is definitely a little bit rough, and Gengineer going for the Sludge Bomb, definitely an interesting play, seeing as he, like, had the 2 Frenzy Plants ready to go, and Fish had that shield, but he is able to get to 2 Sludge Bombs before Fish gets to another charge move, and this is going to be GG's on game 1 of round 3. Going in with Gallade versus Frostlass now. Again, as we saw before, it's a pretty decent matchup for Gallade. We'll see if there is another swap to try and catch a charge move, maybe try and catch a Leaf Blade onto a Venusaur or something. But yeah, throwing these confusions. Burn the shield, same way that Gengineer played it before, and it's definitely the right way to play. Shooting up the the Avalanche, and does catch the Leaf Blade onto the Venusaur. Fantastic catch from Fish's end. Really getting some good catches in. Wasting a lot of energy from that Gallade. Unfortunately for Fish, these confusions are still doing a ton of damage, and Gengineer able to throw that switch right back in Fish's face. Able to go, hey, you can catch charge moves? Well, so can I. Able to eat up all that energy from the Frenzy Plant onto his Venusaur, and getting this Frenzy Plant off first, which will take out the Venusaur at this point. Down goes the Venusaur, and then we'll see what comes back in. Is that Frostlass trying to get an Avalanche off before Frenzy Plant comes through. He's able to get there, so Gengineer can kind of go either way, burning the shield or not burning the shield. Definitely has ways to win both ways. Decides to burn the shield, and Fish now has a 2-0 shield advantage with a Swampert in the back. So this is definitely really rough for Fish here. Any other Pokemon but Swampert would be fine, but Yowcha! So gonna burn the 2 shields on these back-to-back Frenzy Plants. I mean, if he doesn't, then he's gone. He's gone. Nothing he can do. But yeah, down he goes. And then I think he's still got energy on that Gallade as well. Yeah, has the Leaf Blade ready to go. And this is going to be GG's. Just way too much grass action on this team for that Swampert to thrive. Triple grass is OP. Going into the next battle with Gallade up against that Venusaur. Definitely a decent matchup for the Gallade, because again, those confusions are really going to be adding up against the poison typing. Fish swapping out straight away into that Frostlass, trying to not lose too much of an advantage there. I think Gallade is still going to win this matchup out generally though. Engineer does have the opportunity to swap out if you'd like though. Swapping out into the Galarian Stunfisk, keeping Gallade for a little bit later, knowing that Gallade is going to have a bit better of a time up against Venusaur, and Stunfisk could have a little bit worse of a time. May as well use G-Fisk in a space where he's really going to thrive and really do a lot of work, eat up a lot of energy from this from the Frostlass. Letting another charge move come through though, and wasn't able to get a single Rock Slide. Oh, never mind. 1 HP and a Dream, 1 Rock Slide. Coming up, Fish. Straight to you. And Baum taking that last shield off of Fish, and it is now the reverse situation of the last battle, where now Engineer has the 2-0 shield advantage. So this confusion, as soon as it goes through, is going to take out the Frostlass. So shielding up was just an avalanche, and then yeah, down goes the Frostlass. And then in comes something. If it's that Venusaur, then we kind of guess that there's going to be a Swampert in the back, but we'll just have to wait and see what does pop out. It is the Venusaur, so this is definitely a really interesting pick from Fish and Heater here, and it really makes me think that he does have that Swampert in the back again and does not want to get hit by a Leaf Blade. Eats that close combat, which does a lot of damage, and brings in the Venusaur now. It's going to be able to tank a Sludge Bomb no matter what, so you can kind of afford to not shield here. It does decide to shield, keep Venusaur healthy though. And not swapping out from the Venusaur, which really makes me think that it's going to be a Swampert in the back. If it's a Swampert in the back, you have to like this video. But yeah, Vine Whip down. Oh, it's a Alolan Ninetales in the back. Okay, well, it's still really weak to Venusaur. I guess you don't have to like this video, but you know, you could do it to support some sort of content, can't you? Can't you? Yeah. Anyway, yeah, definitely GG's. Fission and Heater just in a really rough spot there up against that Venusaur. Venusaur comes back in, but it's got basically no health. And yeah, that's GG. So going up into round 4, the finals, up against Dr. Trotter, another Aussie content creator. So please go check him out on YouTube and Twitch if you have not already. Abomasnow vs Stunfisk is definitely a pretty rough start for Engineer here. Does have the Galarian Stunfisk and Gallade in the back, both of which would have a much better time here. Even, you know, the G-Fisk is going to be playing the mirror, but the mirror is definitely a place where you can come out king, depending on baits and whatnot. Dr. Trotter does land the first Rock Slide, and Engineer just farming up so much energy on this Abomasnow. Going for the first Weather Ball is going to weaken it down a little bit. Didn't get a shield off the Energy Ball, but now off the Weather Ball, sorry, off the Weather Ball bait. Now going for the Energy Ball. Does land really. Oh, and the defense drop. If he burns the shield here, he's definitely going to be able to Powder Snow down before another charge move comes through. Lets it go though. So it can really bring in, I guess Gallade would be the better pick here to bring in, just because it's like, you know, a confusion is so much time taken up. Although Stunfisk is still like a really good option, like even though I would have gone Gallade, literally both are good with a little bit of an energy stored up. But it's a Gallade in the back, so definitely nice to have the energy ready to go here. Decides to go for the Rock Slide bait, trying to really get these shields off of Dr. Trotter. So we'll see if one does come through. No shield. That is really wasted energy on that Gallade, and really unfortunate for Engineer here. Tried to get this second Rock Slide off before a charge move comes through, but just wasn't able to. But it was a Leaf Blade bait. No one's shielding, everyone's baiting. Are we going to see another no shield from Dr. Trotter here? No shields. No one is falling for these baits. It's just not going to happen here, ladies and gentlemen. So are we going to see a shield finally? No shield. And funnily enough, it wasn't a bait. Instant swap into Gallade versus Frostlass now. And again, we've seen this one. We know that Gallade is going to be able to win out this matchup, especially holding on to 2 shields still. He's really going to be able to like burn both shields, confusion all the way down. And then it's just that Gallade in the back that doesn't have lots of health. I'm not sure what the energy situation is on that Gallade though. So, you know, maybe it's going to be a bit... Maybe it'll be interesting. We'll see. Shields out the Avalanche there. One more confusion and down goes the Frostlass. No point going for the charge moves on Engineer's side here. That confusion was enough and able to take down Dr. Trotter with 2 shields still in tow. Going into game 2, and we have such a better lead here with the Abomasnow up against Swampert. Just needs to get the Energy Ball, and Swampert is Gonski. If that Swampert has Sludge Wave though, it could do a lot of work. Tanking the Energy Ball onto the Frostlass, maybe thinking that it was going to be a Weather Ball bait. Does still do tons of damage there. Swarming into Gallade now. Engineer just does not have enough of eating up these Frostlasses with the Gallades. Just absolutely just burn one shield and confusion away. So yeah, one more and down goes the Frostlass. we're not really gonna. Ooh, we see the Swampert come back in here. Maybe trying to eat up the energy, maybe trying to get a charge move off before Gallade, but does burn the shield, and now going for that charge move. Trying to get this, like, there's just too much grass for these mud boys to thrive. Lands the Hydro Cannon, does take out Gallade, and now probably gonna bring in that Abomasnow just to really hammer home the, hey, did you take out my grass? Hey, Trotter, I've still got a grass, Trotter. Are you mad, Trotter? Are you? Goes with the Weather Ball bait, though. If we've seen this game enough, we know that Dr. Trotter was not going to shield that bait there. No one is falling for baits. It's just not happening. These guys are in the finals. It's neck and neck. Lands the Sludge Wave, which really does not do much damage against the Frostlass at all. Frostlass versus Medicham is a really good spot for JENGINEER to be in. Gets this Shadow Ball off before Medicham gets a charge move off. Could have gone for the Ice Punch, but then it obviously wouldn't have been a Psychic. So shields up, trying to go for that Psychic there. Oh, really countering down a lot of health off of the Frostlass as well. Ice Punch would definitely do a fair bit at this point too. So yeah, goes for the Ice Punch, gets the shield from JENGINEER, and then going for this Avalanche just because he's like, okay, Medicham's got too much energy. I need to like do as much damage as possible right now. And it is immediately before. Really great counting there from JENGINEER's end. This is definitely going to take out the Frostlass. Never mind, I don't trust me when I say the word definitely, I guess, but able to Powder Snow down, and then he's able to get the Energy Ball off that will take out Swampert, and this is going to be GG's. I think he's taking out the tournament here, but going into the last battle of the tournament, Gallade versus Venusaur. Again, really pretty decent matchup here. Those Confusions really doing a lot of damage to that Venusaur. Able to get it to half health and tanks the Frenzy Plant onto Venusaur. We're really seeing a lot of great catches in this video from like not only JENGINEER but also Fish and Heater had some great ones as well. Going for the Sludge Bomb here though, CMP tying with Dr. Trotter's Venusaur, which is definitely pretty rough there. Does get it through though, and decides to, yeah, no shields, down it goes, and in comes the Stunfisk. So Venusaur versus Stunfisk is actually another really interesting matchup. The Rock Slides are going to be doing a lot of damage, the Earthquake's like what's really going to be doing a lot of damage, and the Frenzy Plants are just adding up in the meantime. So we'll see who whether Dr. Trotter goes to the baits. I'm going to guess it's a Rock Slide and no shield. And what was it? Have we seen enough of these two fight it out? It's baits, it's no shielding baits, but I guess in this case it wasn't. Does it really count as a bait if it like is enough to kind of sort of KO? Probably not. But anyway, Gallade up against the Galarian Stunfisk here, shields up the Leaf Blade, still holding on to both shields as that Gallade, so deciding to let this Earthquake come through though, that is definitely rough. Now going with the 2-shield Abomasnow up against a Medicham and a Galarian Stunfisk. Two things that are regularly going to destroy the Abomasnow, so we'll see if JENGINEER can play out of it with the 2 shields. Going for the Weather Ball here, burns that last shield off of Dr. Trotter, and now really going for that Energy Ball to try and do heaps of damage to the Medicham. Burning the first shield here, I feel like it would have been, I mean, I was going to say maybe it would be better off if Dr. Trotter didn't burn any charge moves, like just tried to counter down this Abomasnow, but yeah, it probably would be the better play, but hey, still going to be able to counter down, and that's GG's. So massive shout out to JENGINEER there for the 4-0 sweep. Super impressive with that triple grass line. Thank you to our patrons and my supporters over on Twitch. But yeah, if you do want to check out that level 50 Medicham in the Nightfall Cup video, you can click that top one up there, or the bottom one, the infamous line with Galarian Stunfisk, Shadow Victreebel, and Shadow Vileplume in the Nightfall Cup. Definitely a fun one if you want to check that out. And don't forget to subscribe, because we're doing daily content here in Stevemas, so click that one on the left as well for the subscribe. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.